All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. Our first 2 week or twice for the week fancy serial number kind of check in here. My goodness, we are continuing on with some pretty strong sales here. In case this is your first time here, fancy serial numbers is a exploding part to numismatics in the market and to collecting. It's an incredibly approachable and sensible way to get into the hobby. And it's a really neat kind of look into a collectible that far reaches just paper money or numismatics, as a lot of people who are doing like angel numbers and all sorts of other things that are outside of the hobby is really driving a lot of momentum into the market today. So we're going to take a look at about 18 lots is what I have pulled up just from the last 24 to 36 hours. Great to see. Again, when I first started doing this type of video about a year ago, not even a year ago, it's probably been like 7 or 8 months ago, right after last summer, where it took a good full week of activity to even drum up enough stuff to talk about in a week. But just with the consistent uploads that I'm trying to do for a lot of you folks out there, it's really building upon something that is, again, very approachable to the sense that you could walk into a bank, ask for a few straps of ones, and just really go to town, and just continue to recirculate that money. You're playing with house money, number one. That's important. You go in there with $100 in cash, you can get yourself a $100 strap of $1 bills. And even if you don't find anything, you just go back, grab another 100, take that initial 100, you deposit into another bank. Again, I stress the importance of dump banks as being a thing. And, picking up another strap and then, just kind of repeating the process. Now it's a lot more effective if you went through a lot more money than just $100, maybe at the low end, $500 per visit. But you're going to be able to find a lot of these. It's kind of like an untapped potential type of market from a number of different viewpoints, which we're going to cover here today. But all in all, the market data is extremely encouraging. It's very strong. It's like a lot stronger than I had anticipated. Just the growth over the course of the last 6 months has really, really been astonishing. All right, so we don't talk about graded notes for the most part. There are a few graded bangers I'll bring up on occasion, but you don't have to necessarily grade your notes. Sometimes it won't add that extra value, and it costs $20 to $30 to send a note to PMG or PCGS banknote. So just keep that in your pocket and just take good pictures and then sell it. It could be easier. eBay seems to be that it platform for things like this because you have the untapped potential of reaching out to the marketplace of many hundreds, if not thousands, of people who might be interested in this. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Always a pleasure. All right, we have our first a very modest listing title. They call it a fancy radar serial number, which it's exactly what it is. But this is actually something a little bit better. I have the feeling that this one undersold a little bit because most of them that I do find that have ended on the market have been in that $80 to $150 range, depending on condition, depending on the number that's on there. But what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a super radar. All right, so you have two single digits as bookends, and then you have six in a row of any one number. So you have the two fives at the end, you have 6 sevens in the middle, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call super radar. Now, a radar is a palindrome. All right, by definition, the first four numbers read a certain way, and then the last four numbers read the same way, just mirrored. So that's kind of the explanation of what a radar is. Some people don't know that, but it's always good to bring it up. This particular note right here is actually in pretty decent shape. A good, nice VF condition with a little bit of wear. Still, in my humble opinion, a collectible grade type look to it. Does have a few little wrinkles and folds here and there. Just the note is in good shape. It's not torn. It doesn't have pinholes. It doesn't have residue stains or anything of that sort. So $55. Yeah, definitely an undersell here, especially on to buy it now. You just have to be careful what you're listing things at, so that way you're not cutting your nose off to spite your face. The last thing you want to do is sell this thing and come to find out that all the other examples have been selling for nearly double what this one sold for. So always do your research before you go ahead and list something. This rough bad boy right here. Yeah, not the serial number is actually quite attractive. It's a play on a date, and you also have the epic 6 in a row sevens. But we got to talk about that condition, folks. 1985 $1 bill. This thing looked like it wiped a few asses in its lifetime, unfortunately. Sold for $20. Now, in spite of all that, it did sell for a $20 bill. Which is quite miraculous, but when you look at this thing, man, is it rough. You got torn, tattered margins, you have a lot of paper loss, you got that wicked, nasty, tan colored stain on the front, which I would imagine this thing was probably sitting in some old billfold or a wallet for a while. Yeah, I mean, this puppy is rough, but $20. I mean, you can't beat that with a stick. I'm sure in much nicer condition, these are probably around $40-50 because sevens are the most collectible number. Sevens and eights and zeros, and you could probably make the argument ones also are very collectible. But considering that it starts out with 1977, actually my wife would like something like this. She was born in 77. But way too rough to command that big, large secondary market premium. But that is definitely a step in the right direction right there. If you do come across something like this in your travels, congratulations. You have something that's worth a hell of a lot more than face value. Here is a low digit, small size ladder is what we call it. But yeah, me personally, I'm a little indifferent on the whole low serial number aspect of it. 4 digits isn't my personal idea of a low digit serial number. I usually like 3 digits and smaller. But anyways, this one here, $15.65, 9 bids. Again, it's another dollar bill, 2017 dated. So 2, 3, 4, 5. It reads in order, as a ladder. And the note is pretty good shape. It does have some written annotation there. It says 100. Which is 100 pennies for $1, I guess. I don't know what the meaning is there for that one, but yeah, just know that there is a little bit of a details grade factor in that one. Here's another radar. This one is more typical of what we normally find out there. $20.50, 16 bids. It's a 2017A $1 bill. And this one reads 3375 5733. All right, so again, just by looking at the number and reading it out loud, you know exactly what a radar is. Again, phenomenal looking note. Nice. It looks to be crispy uncirculated. It's got funky margins on there. It's slightly miscut, I guess you could say. But all in all, just a really just nice solid note. Radars are kind of like in that lower end of the spectrum for fancies. So you can't really expect a ton of money unless it's a super radar, right? Where you have that 6 in a row number in the middle with 2 bookends. These $20-25 seems to be the going rate for any sort of radar pattern. Here's actually probably one of the coolest, and it just so happens to land on today's date, February 9th, 2024. As of the taping of this video, that is today's date. And we have our first birthday fancy serial number that reads 02092024. So that is really neat, considering that, this thing could have been purchased at any other day, and it just so happens that it happened today. Now, the note is not anything to write home to mother about condition-wise, but Someone that bought this, maybe they had a baby today, or possibly it's a birthday, or could be anniversary of a death of a past loved one, or maybe it's some other significant date for him. But it's today's date on the note, and it's really cool. I mean, you guys saw it did sell for $25. Quick little thing for you. If you're going to sell birth dates, always sell them for between $20 and $30. Do a buy it now listing. Never ever should you sell these as a regular auction. So don't put it as like a dollar start, 5 days or 7 days, because the dates are very specific to certain people. What you're doing by selling it as an auction is you're giving another reseller an opportunity to buy that for like $5 and turn around and sell for 25. And you don't want to do that. These are kind of like fuel for a raging fire in an eBay store. That'll just sit there, and that's what they're intended to do. They will sell. Don't overprice them. Pretty cool one here. We do sometimes come across notes with a number of any one number in a row. This one had 5 eights in a row. Sure, it's not a full run of 8 numbers. That's eights. That would be awesome. It's probably a $1,500 to $2,000 note right there if that were the case. But how about 5 eights in a row? Keeping in mind there's also a 6th 8 in the serial number. So it could be 5 in a row eights. It could be a 6 of a kind eights. But what we do know is it's sold for $15 here. All right, so that's a pretty nice one. And a nice VF condition note. Again, it's got normal standard wear. It doesn't have tattered margins or edge splits or anything like that. It's just, it's good quality. The next one that we have here is our first, what they call 4-digit repeater. This seller, Ronald J.H., one of the biggest on eBay, calls it a quad repeater, which, is the same thing. So 9397, 9397, and $2009 bill sold for $16.50 with 7 bids. This is a great guy to model after. He takes a really nice close-up of the serial number and the date of the note, series-wise, and a couple full front and back pictures. So yeah, I mean, pretty solid. It has a little doodad up here. Don't know if that's like a little edge split or something like that. But when we look up close, yeah, it looks like it could be, I don't know, it could be a stain, could be a little edge split, but the piece of paper is still there. Kind of hard to say, but $16.50. Again, not too shabby. 7 bids. Here's another one from Ronald. He calls this a double repeater. All right. It's not a super repeater. Super is the same 2 numbers that's repeated 4 times over on the serial number. But this is 1515, 1616. And you can even say it's even a step up double repeater. And, if you're going to be doing this for a living or as a supplemental income opportunity, always know which keywords to put in your listing title. Fancy serial number is one of those that constantly gets searched not only on the Google algorithms, but also on YouTube as well. I know they're one and the same, but any search engine, Yahoo, things like that, Bing, if people are still using Bing. So double repeater, the word repeater in itself is being used quite a bit. Fancy serial number, dollar bill, $1 sign, whatever the note is, the date, things like that. So again, not too bad. They call this kind of like a hybrid, $17.50. Again, you're going to be more inclined to come across something like this than you would, any other type of fancy. Next one that we have here, Ronald with more bangers. We got our first binary, 1s and 8s on this note here, $10.38 with 7 bids. Looking at the note overall, it's in pretty decent shape. Very nice, attractive looking serial number of notes, especially when you only have 2 digits, kind of like it commingled on the serial number line. I mean, that's pretty neat. And a new seller here. We also have another binary, but it's also a radar as well. So you got 1s and 4s, 4411, 1144. Sold for $20. What I'm not gauging in the sale prices is shipping. So there are some people that do charge for shipping. I keep it out, just to keep, the kind of like the eye on the prize and less about the total amount spent. Even though you use shipping as one of those things that ultimately kind of contributes to the cost of ownership of something like this. Yeah, a lot of stains on this one. It's quite fugly, but $20 for this thing, yeah, that's pretty damn good. I would take that all day long just so I could get it out of my collection. It's there's still going to be a lot of love for things like this, and then someone who probably doesn't care about this will still enjoy it as it is. We don't talk about these quite often, but it's worth talking about. This is what we call a high serial number. So these you don't see nearly as much on newer notes, because the last however many millions are being withheld to be sold on the secondary market or to be sold on the US Mint website. But this is a high serial number where you're 3 digits away from all nines. Keep in mind the date. It's a 69A, which they did circulate these back in the day, but they don't anymore. Like, you're not going to find a 2017 or a 2021 series note where you're going to have all nines there. Again, they take these, they withhold these from the BEP, and then they sell them on their website as a novelty. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, this one sold for $59 is because of that. High serial numbers are a fancy serial number as well, but I think they need that leading 5 nines at the beginning to denote a high fancy. And the note is phenomenal. It's a nice, crispy, fresh example, found very early on, I would imagine. And this note, I would say, is worth a heck of a lot more than $59. And you'll probably come across a few people that would grade something like that. We also have our next birthday note, $20 sale price, 2017 A $1 bill. This one, June 9th, 2022, in a not so distant past. So this kid is a toddler by now. I would say, 18 months old or something. But there you go. 6/9/2022 on the serial number. Again, set a realistic price, $20, $25, $30 for these things. I would say probably $29.99 and let her rip as a buy it now option. Here's another in a row. We have 6 in a row, 7s. Okay, another great serial number here. $16.36. Buy it now. There was a best offer, but I don't think the person balked on the price that much because it's a pretty good deal. But there you go. 7s and 8s in a row like that are quite popular. We also have this one here. Our first 7 of a kind. Lots of 2s in there, and then 1 3 on a $1 bill. This one right here, $56. Sold price with 22 bids. Again, very nice looking note as far as the serial number is concerned. Condition wise, it's just okay. It's just a marginal type piece, but yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool one right there, guys. Always going to be quite valuable. Here's another super radar bookend ones with a bunch of 9s in the middle. $61, 17 bids, and it's a 2017 $1 bill. There you go. It's got a really hard fold down the middle. That's probably what held this one back from being a $100 note. Yeah, condition still matters. To some people that think that condition doesn't matter, it still does matter. You have some discoloration at the bottom of the note. That's consistent all the way across. So people do look at things like that. Some would say that they would hold out for, a much better example that's a little bit more cleaner, and to each their own. Here's another radar, $20. So 4288 224. And it's a trinary. People throw out trinaries like, you know, it's the next coming of what you want to call it. Trinary is any three numbers mixed, commingled in a serial number. So 2s, 4s, and 8s here. Condition wise, it's a well loved beater. Probably a fine 12 condition note. Again, nothing too crazy. So we do have a few best offer notes here. We're going to use 130 point to determine how much these sold for. Our first one is a $69 $5 bill. An oldie but goodie, but it's a low serial number 366 on there. Again, with the 5 leading zeros and a 3-digit number, I mean, you can't go wrong here. These are quite pretty. This note is crackling fresh too. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste the listing title into 130point.com. I have that up already. Search eBay sales, scroll down a little bit, and then put in this little search field here. Hit submit. And this will give us kind of the tail of the tape. This one, it takes a moment. So $49.95 was the ask price, and it sold for $34.95. All right, so that's what we're looking at there for that one. The next one that we have here, binary low-digit serial 8080 on a $2003 bill. So, like the previous example, again, it's a nice crackling fresh note. Let's go ahead and determine what the buy price was on this one using 130 point. And this one, ladies and gents, will be popping up here in a moment. All right, so $50 was the sale price. $10 off, that's not too bad. That's very reasonable for that. The next one that we have here, we have another 7 of a kind, this time 7. So we have that one pesky number 2 right in the middle. Original asking price was $95. This one here, again, another low end. Call it like maybe fine 15 VF20 caliber type grade. So we're going to say copy this here, go back into 130 point, and let's go ahead and get some data on this one. This is a really nice note. Okay, so we are going to do a quick little refresh here and see if we could get this to pop up. Let's check it out for any sort of, get rid of the apostrophe there. That might do it. I don't know. And it does. They don't like certain characters, asterisks, things like that. So again, another $10 discount, $85. That's the going rate for a 7 of a kind note. Again, pretty nice. I mean, well loved. It's not incredibly beat up, but you can tell that this one has had a lot of play out in society. And the final one, we have a uncirculated, crispy fresh, binary low serial. Incredibly neat. 444 low serial number here. Crackling fresh, unk, beautiful note. $149 was the ask. And let's see what the results are on this one. Should be pretty nice. Let's hope for a $10 off discount. Not too bad. $125. That's a buy right there all day long for that one. So, yeah, pretty solid interest. This one was probably not on eBay that long, because, again, notes like this, if this ended up in the hands of, say, a Heritage Auctions or something like that, this one would most assuredly be in a graded holder. And then they would turn around and probably sell it for about $200. That's just how good the market is for notes like this. This is kind of like that upper tier, that upper kind of like 5 to 10% of fancy serial numbers that generally perform to the next level. And they always seem to do well when they're crispy uncirculated, and they're also graded as well. Now, again, like I had prefaced at the very beginning of the video, grading not necessary, but anyone that's been doing this for a while will recognize certain patterns in the marketplace where grading will be apropos for it. Spending again and investing $20 to $30 for certain fancy serial numbers will only help your cause, because they do enhance the value of them. When they go to sell in an auction setting. So that's it. That's going to go ahead and do it. We are at a 25-minute mark. Another great video. Thank you guys for coming on board. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this segment of the hobby if you are currently active in it. I know I am. I've been finding a lot of great stuff. I've also been buying some nice notes on the secondary market as well. So I am a part of the good problem that we're having with these healthy sales prices that we're seeing today. So again, it's just a testament to how it is out there, and you guys should definitely come on board if you need a little bit of a break from coin roll hunting or doing that stuff. Again, you're playing with house money. This is a no-brainer here if you're gonna, kind of treasure hunt something else. All right, guys, I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful Friday. I'll see you for some more great videos coming right up. Speaking of roll hunts, I'm going to be doing a $50 roll hunt here later on today. We're going to do it on live again. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I will see you guys later. All right, take care. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The usual.